Wait. Hold the whole internet still for a second. Pregnant Nevaeh just hopped on Instagram Live counting down her days like nothing happened. Smiling, sipping, laughing at the camera. And the chat? The chat is screaming that Blueface destroyed her on Twitch the night before, and she's sitting there pretending the whole world didn't just witness it. And Nevaeh jumped in the live, swinging back at every troll, calling people rug babies like she was holding court. Bro really called her on stream, embarrassed her in front of thousands. And Blueface really thought this was the move? Nah, somebody on his team needs to take that phone away from him for real. You'll already know the vibe. If you want to keep up with every messy livestream, every shady DM, every receipt these circus folks keep dropping, tap that subscribe button and smash that like for me. I'm Melanin Scope Media, and we don't miss a single move over here. Let's get into it. Alright, here's the skeleton. No fluff. Nevaeh Akira, Blueface's current pregnant girlfriend, the one fans been calling Nia, went live on Instagram on June 13th, 2026, telling everybody she's 29 weeks pregnant, hitting 30 weeks the following Monday, with a due date of August 24th, 2026. The live happened a day after Blueface, government named Jonathan Porter, allegedly went on his Twitch stream and got into it with her over the phone in front of thousands of viewers. Bro picked the worst possible 24 hours to act up. Now let's look at the receipts that show why the chat ain't buying her smile. Okay, so first receipt. On the June 13th, 2026 Instagram Live, Nevaeh literally looks at the camera and says, and I'm quoting her direct, "He ain't bleaching. Just a whole bunch of boots and hot mess." That was her trying to shut down the bleed allegations from the night before. When I heard her say that, I had to rewind it like 3 times. Bro, you on a live with your mama defending a man who clowned you in front of his entire Twitch chat less than 24 hours ago? Nah. Sis, the math ain't mathing. Then she goes into the due date thing, repeating it over and over like she's trying to convince herself. Her exact words, remember my due date? August 24th. And then later again, that's my due date. I say it so many times. August 24th, which is basically going into September. Sis, why are you saying it 4 times in one live? Per Instagram clips circulating from June 9th, 2026, Blueface had already been on a phone call with her during his stream the night before. That's the call the chat keeps bringing up. Then Mama hops in. Mama looks at the chat and says straight up, they jealous. They want a life like we got. Bro said what? That's the dumbest flex I've ever heard. Your daughter is on baby number however many with a man who has children with multiple women already, including Jaden Alexis and Krisin Rock per Hot 97, and you out here calling viewers rug babies. That's the move of somebody who's desperate for a comeback line. Next receipt, and this one is wild. Nevaeh starts addressing the 50 Cent comments. You'll remember 50 was being mentioned in her chat, and on the live she goes, they 50 Cent looking for you. They are so childish. They are so childish. And then she does that thing where she pretends like she didn't even read the comment. But baby, you read it, you reacted to it, and you said it out loud. That line right there? That's where she lost the plot. You can't claim peace while quoting every troll word for word. Then the kicker. About her son. She says on the live, there's reasons why my son is not allowed around his anymore. So don't worry about him. Worry about yours. Worry what you pushed out of your cocoon, baby. What you pushed out of your cocoon. In front of your child? When somebody literally asks her, how do you talk in front of your child? She snaps back, honey, how do you talk in front of your child? That's not a clap back. That's a deflection. When I read this, I had to do a double take. Is she serious? Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Watch the pattern carefully, because the timing on this is everything. That phone call happened during Blueface Twitch stream the night of June 12th, less than 24 hours before this damage control live. The cooldown window? Almost nothing. According to Hot New Hip Hop's coverage, Blueface has a documented pattern of using pregnant Nevaeh as content during his streams. He even got allegedly banned from Twitch back in April 2026 at mobbish_ on Instagram for a heated argument involving her. And then per XXL magazine, he claimed a permanent Twitch ban and moved to Kick. So this whole bleed allegation isn't a one-time thing. This is the recurring loop the chat already memorized. Now stack that against the pregnancy timeline. The relationship itself only got confirmed publicly when Blueface and Nevaeh held up 2 positive pregnancy tests on a livestream on February 22, 2026, Pa Complex and Power 105.1. The paternity calculator floating around, covered on Instagram, backs up her conception date of December 1, 2025 and the August 24, 2026 due date. So mathematically, her dates are adding up. But that's where it gets interesting. The chat isn't doubting the math. The chat is doubting the behavior. That phone call on stream dropped right after a string of allegedly tense moments between them. Per an Instagram reel from at Unwind with Teshak on June 1, 2026, Nevaeh herself said she would have dipped completely from the situation already. So 12 days later, she's back on live counting down the days with him? That's terrible strategy, brew. The receipts show she wanted out, then a public stream blow up. Then suddenly Mama is on Instagram calling chatters rug babies. Any smart team would have waited a week. Instead, they rushed the cleanup before the smoke cleared. And the relationships piece, this is the part nobody's connecting. Pa TMZ via TikTok. Nevaeh's moves are reportedly perceived as direct shots at Jaden Alexis and Kristen Rock. Blueface are the mothers. So when Mama gets on live talking about the life we got and dismissing the chat, she's not just defending her daughter. She's flexing a position in a roster war. That's why the comments are extra brutal. The audience knows what season this is. Bro really thought nobody would connect these dots? Nah, the timeline tells on itself. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Now check this out. Nobody's talking about the word choice on that live. Zoom into just one phrase, rug babies. That's not random. That phrase is loaded. It implies the people commenting are beneath her, basically children crawling on the floor. The fact that Mama used it, not Nevaeh, is the tell. Because when Mama goes that hard in defense, it means the family already had a conversation off camera about what to say. That wasn't spontaneous, that was a talking point. And Mama really thought that was the line? That's embarrassing. Now zoom into one more piece. The phrase worry what you pushed out of your cocoon. Cocoon. Not womb. Not body. Cocoon. That word choice is wild because it's dehumanizing on purpose. That's a calculated insult delivered while her own child is in the same room. If Nevaeh had half a strategist around her, somebody would have told her, when you're 29 weeks pregnant on a public stream, you do not escalate insults about other people's parenting. That line is going to be screenshot and replayed forever. Then the audio forensics. Listen back to how many times she says August 24th. I counted at least 4 direct mentions, and at one point she literally says, I done posted. They don't know how to do math, obviously. And if I don't went to the OBGYN, my anatomy scan and everything and posted that, do the math. That's not somebody confident in her timeline. That's somebody who knows the chat is doing receipts on her. Calm people don't repeat the date 4 times. Nervous people do. That's the forensic tell. And Blueface? He's not even pretending to clean it up. He just lets her sit out there twisting in the wind on her own live. One more piece. The body language signal nobody's flagging. She kept switching from talking to the chat, to talking to her son, to addressing Mama, to ordering food at the drive-thru while the controversy is happening. Can I get B&B and chain? Yeah. An extra can I get a drink? Sure. Bro, you in the middle of a pregnancy controversy, and you ordering chicken? That's not I don't care energy. That's I'm desperately trying to look like I don't care energy. There's a difference. And the chat clocked it. If Blueface had ANY situational awareness, he would have told her to log off. Instead, he let her cook herself live. That's the problem with this whole circle. Nobody's playing chess. Everybody's playing checkers with the camera on. Now let's see how the media framed all this. Hot New Hip Hop framed the whole pattern as Blueface receiving backlash, putting him as the villain getting publicly criticized for how he handles his pregnant girlfriend. That's the sympathy Nevaeh angle. But remember that post from her June 13th live? That's not what a victim sounds like. A victim doesn't joke about ordering drinks and call chatters childish. The framing doesn't match the receipts. Complex, on the other hand, played it as a confirmation piece, celebratory, almost neutral, about the pregnancy reveal in February. They quoted Blueface, calling her his first bad baby mama. But that interpretation aged terribly. 4 months later, she's on live defending against bleed allegations, and her mama is fighting trolls. The complex framing makes Blueface look romantic. The real story makes him look like he's running a content farm with his pregnancies. Then Hot 97 and Power 105.1 both framed it through the Jaden Alexis Reacts lens, making the other baby mama the secondary story. That spin is critical because it explains why the chat is so brutal. The media set Nevaeh up as the new one, the replacement, the threat to existing baby mamas. So when mama hops on live calling people rug babies, she's actually playing into the narrative the media built. Now some of Blueface defenders are saying the bleed allegations are cap, that the chat is just trolling, that Nevaeh is happy. But those are the same people who thought he wasn't gonna catch a Twitch ban in April per at mobbish_, and we saw how that played out. The media trying to spin a redemption story, but the receipts don't lie. Every outlet covering this is dancing around the obverse. This man has a pattern, and Nevaeh is just the newest chapter. But here's what nobody is saying. Something about this whole thing feels OFF. And I'm not talking about the bleed allegations. I'm not talking about the due date. I'm talking about the bigger machine these two are operating inside. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. This isn't a relationship anymore. This is a content pipeline. Think about it. The pregnancy got announced on a stream. The arguments happen on streams. Mama is now on streams. The countdown is on streams. Every single milestone in this woman's pregnancy is monetized in real time. That's not love. That's a business arrangement with a baby attached to it. And at Daily_Loud's documentation from May 28, 2026 of Blueface making her admit she was done with her whole phase on stream? That's not romance. That's branding. Blueface figured out years ago that drama draws numbers, and Nevaeh signed up to be the next storyline. The June 13th live wasn't damage control. It was episode 47 of the show. And Mama isn't defending her daughter out of love. Mama is defending the bag. Because the second this relationship collapses, the streams stop, the money stops, and the life we got, her words, disappears. That's why she called the chat rug babies. Not because she's offended. Because she's terrified of losing the lifestyle. That's the part nobody on the news outlets will print. The mama character has financial skin in this game, and that changes everything about how you read that live. Now flip it. Blueface whole brand is being the guy with multiple baby mamas. That's the entire content engine. Chris Rock built a reality show off it. Jaden Alexis got music releases off it. And now Nevaeh is the third chapter in the same playbook. If TMZ is right that her moves are perceived as shots at the other two, then this isn't beef, it's casting. Blueface is the showrunner, and these women are auditioning to be the lead. That's why mama can call people jealous with a straight face. From inside the pipeline, it really does look like winning. From outside, looks like the oldest trick in the industry. Keep the woman pregnant, keep her dependent, keep her on stream. Opposition. Really thought this was a flex? Brew. This is a tragedy with merchandising. And here's the part that's gonna make people uncomfortable. The chat isn't trolling because they hate Nevaeh. The chat is trolling because they see her. They see a 29-week pregnant woman defending the man who clowned her in public. They see a mother hopping on live to fight strangers instead of pulling her daughter aside. They see a son in the background watching mommy cuss out the internet. The chat isn't jealous. The chat is concerned. And calling concerned viewers rug babies is exactly the move of somebody who can't tell the difference between hate and a wake-up call. The scary part isn't what happened on June 13th. The scary part is that this is the third time this exact cycle has happened in this man's life. Chrisian, Jaden, now Nevaeh. Same script, different actress. And by the time we get to baby number 5, 6, 7, because we will, there's gonna be a brand new first bad baby mama repeating the exact same defense. That's not a love story. That's a manufacturing line. And mama, with all due respect, is just the latest middle management. That's the truth they won't tell you. Watch the next move carefully, because this is where it all starts collapsing in slow motion. When August 24th gets here, the math is gonna get loud. If that baby comes on or near the date, Nevaeh will spike a victory lap for about 72 hours. She's been counting down too hard not to. But the second the baby arrives, the content engine shifts. The stream traffic that was about her pregnancy becomes traffic about the baby. And Blueface is gonna do what he always does, pull focus back to himself with a new controversy. Mark my words, within 30 days of that birth, there's gonna be a new incident on stream. A new argument. A new phone call. Because the moment Nevaeh stops being pregnant, she stops being the story, and a man who needs to be the story will make a new one. Sis is about to learn that her relevance had a delivery date attached to it. Now flip the script. If the timeline starts wobbling, if she gives birth a week late, a week early, anything that gives the chat ammo, those do the math comments she keeps clapping back at, they are gonna multiply by 10,000. She already exposed her own nerves by repeating August 24th 4 times in one live. The second there's any deviation, the entire internet is gonna treat it like a paternity case. And Complex's old first bad baby mama line is gonna get pulled out of the archive and dragged across every comment section. Bro, the receipts are PRE loaded. She's one due date miss away from being the punchline of the entire summer. And here's the part that's bigger than both of them. The culture is shifting in real time. Audiences are tired. Stunner Girl, Jaden, Kristen. The public has watched this exact movie 3 times now, and they are done paying for the matinee. Mama getting on live calling viewers rug babies might have worked in 2022. In this climate, that's the move that gets you cancelled in a week. The same chat she's dismissing is the same chat that funds the streams that pay for the lifestyle she's bragging about. The day they decide to leave, and they will, there's no recovery. The silence will hurt more than any troll comment ever did. 5 years from now, people are gonna look back at this June 13th live as the exact moment the Blueface universe started losing its grip. Whatever happens, one thing's clear, the chat already won. Alright y'all, I gotta hear from you on this one. Do you believe Nevaeh that Blueface didn't bleed her on that Twitch stream? Or do you think Mama hopped on live to clean up a mess that's already too big to mop? Drop your honest take in the comments, because I'm reading every single one. And if you're new here, this is what we do, receipts, timelines, and the truth nobody else is brave enough to say out loud. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter, because trust me, August 24th is coming whether they are ready or not. Like, share, and stay locked in. This is Melanin Scope Media, and we ain't done watching this circus, not by a long shot.